Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I had her up on all four. Was doing a trial fit with the new rims here. As you can see from the front, whoever had this car before did a nice job with the Cobra brakes upgrade, but there was something that I discovered in the rears. These are not standard rear brakes. The calipers themselves, after doing a lot of troubleshooting here, thank God I didn't mount the rims yet because it would have been heavy. But the rears themselves, the calipers are Cobra setup. But as you can see, the rotors are large on this bad boy. So the rotors are actually 13 inches, just like the front. So the 15 by 10 inch rims that I purchased will not fit these. So like to thank the guys at LMR, because we did some troubleshooting and sent some pics and stuff like that. There's no way this guy's gonna clear. So in most cases, the banjo bolt, kind of dark, guys, I'm sorry, right there just has to be ground down, and I did that, but it still wouldn't fit. So they said that I possibly might need to do a little clearancing on the calipers themselves, and I did. But after sending them the pic, they said, dude, these are not standard Cobra brakes. Whoever had it before set them up for 13s in the rear. They look real nice. It stops really good, but no way the 15 inch is gonna fit. So I went ahead and resprayed the calipers, and now have to. It's just such a pity because I really enjoy driving this car on the street, sure enough. But I don't road racer. And in most cases, as you guys know, I am a drag racer. But I'm gonna have to swap these out for the smaller rotors there. So ran the numbers on the back plate there, and sure enough, the back plate that mount to these calipers, because whoever had it before had to get an additional plate that pushes it out further to accommodate for larger rotor, obviously. So once I take that plate off, I'll actually be able to run the smaller rotors and have no issues fitting that rim on there. But that's what happened today in my shop here in my little garage. So I mean, while I was at it, I cleaned it up a bit and took a peek at some of the stuff. I mean, the arms on here, it's kind of dark. Let me go get the flashlight here so you guys can see. Where did I put that flashlight? It is, let's take a look here. Sorry guys. Oh, it's under the car. No, it's not. Oh yeah, sorry, it's here. Let me get this battery really quick. Oh, actually, no, I could use this Milwaukee flashlight. But while I was at it, I cleaned up the engine bay a little bit. I'm gonna do a wire tuck like I did on my GT, but in due time. But there's the mounted Maximizer EZ for the nitrous kit that I told you guys about. Mounted it there. Just did a little bit of cleaning here, nothing fancy, But back to it here. Cleaned up here a little bit as well. So these are Coney adjustables at the front and the rear. I actually did some investigative work too, so they're adjustable. But these are the lower control arms. As you could see here. So I'd like to figure out what these are. It's a nice setup. I mean, I don't see any point in actually investing in larger Let's take a look here if it's, yeah, they're actually, there's a poly setup back there, I could see it, so it's not fully solid. But there's no point in me spending additional money. Like, I'd love to, of course, go with a Team Z full rear. Who knows, but for the meantime, let's see what she's gonna run. But that's what happened today. That's what I discovered with this bad boy here. So let me know what you guys think. You know, those rotors are cool, don't get me wrong, they look really nice. You know, when I do take her out once in a while, I kind of drive like an old man anyways. I don't go speeding through canyons and whatnot and through the hills. I don't do any of that. As you can see, even with my GT, it rolls around with slicks and skinnies when I do drive her out, you know, out and about. So same thing's gonna happen with this guy, because my boy wants this car, and keep urging him to come help me so he learns about all this stuff, you know. Kind of like that movie in Back to the Future where that guy, what was his name? I think his name was Buddy or whatever it was, or no, Biff or Buff or Biff or whatever it was, who had his little quirkiness in his car that only he could figure out, you know, how to start it. So I want my son to know all the little ins and outs of what I've done with it, because just like this, it was a surprise to me. Actually, the guy that sold this to me, funny story, was not so funny, but he was actually a former pro baseball player. He was actually a catcher, and he was looking to get rid of this car. I was initially looking for another vert, because I had two verts that, you know, I enjoy the top down in Arizona weather when it's nice out. But when I stumbled across this guy, I was like, you know what, it's real nice. I picked it up, and he had no clue what this car had, and I test drove it. I saw the rims up front. I saw the Cobra brakes up front. I saw the intake, obviously. But when I took it for a spin, I could tell just by driving that, because just by driving, I knew it was an SSP, but I could tell just by driving it that the transmission in it was not a typical T5. This guy was much more notchier, and sure enough, he had no idea. So when I brought her home, and back then I think I paid $5 grand for this car. This was back in '09. When I brought her home, I put her up on stands, and sure enough, I saw there was a 3550, but she sports a TKO 500 right now. That I actually got from the GT, because, you know, as you guys know who followed me, that guy used to be in this car there, but now there's a C4 in that guy. So, but yeah, it's little stuff like that that I didn't know about. You know, I noticed the proportioning valve up here, you know, for the brakes and whatnot. Saw that stuff there. But anyways, the story with that guy is, sure enough, I brought it home, and you know, started cleaning her out, and sure enough, it looked like he was addicted to pain. You know, it kind of sucks. It looks like he was addicted to painkillers, because I saw a whole bunch of empty Vicodin containers, you know, all around in the different compartments that he didn't, you know, clean out. He was just looking to sell the car quick. So, but that's the story on this guy here. So, I'd like to get the torque box reinforcement installed next before I slap it in there. I mean, I ran for years on the GT without that, and actually put that kit in 4 years ago, and, you know, torque boxes were still in good condition. This guy here, I'd like to install it, and this time I'll actually weld them up weld the uppers to give it, you know, added rigidity and stuff. So, but that's where the project sits today. So, you know, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the support and all that. So I'm gonna get her out there and see what she runs. You know, should do a compression check. You know, I'd like to see, you know, how the motor's doing, because the odometer flipped over, and, you know, it's easy to assume exactly, you know, since this thing was a SSP, that since it flipped over, it probably flipped over to 200,000. So she's got 200,000 miles on her. You know, once that's done, and, you know, in the future when this motor comes out, I've got a couple options. I got a block over here the 302 block that I was gonna use to build with my boy and put it in this thing here, but he's got me out of it. He wants a 302 in. That's his deal. So you know, he doesn't help me. He doesn't get to beat up on it in the track. So I mean, definitely got to learn about this stuff, because when Pop's ain't around anymore, you know, he's gonna need to know what this thing, the ins and outs of this thing. So yeah, either I'm gonna go with a 306 on this guy when I do a rebuild. Definitely, I was looking into doing a coyote swap, but we'll see. I mean, I know that could be time consuming and it's gonna cost some money and whatnot, but I'm a pushrod guy, typical old pushrod type of dude, man. So, and because I know that these guys pretty much in and out. You know, definitely like to keep this one on the. I keep saying that, and it's easier said than done. I'd like to keep this guy on the, you know, conservative or moderate as far as modifications are concerned. But you know how it goes. You go to a track and you want to go faster and faster. But, you know, I just want to keep reminding myself that if I want to go faster, I'll just take that guy out. Because this guy here has got AC, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the idea of, you know, driving home and your own power and stuff. Not to say that the GT can't, because the weakest link on my GT over there is probably the rear end. Yeah, she's got C-clip eliminators and all that, but other than that, you know, and a girdle, it doesn't really have anything else than that. And the axle tubes aren't welded or anything like that. And I mean, she still sports the, you know, 4-lugger in the rear, and you know, it's fine. But we'll see, because I know either way, when I go with the build on this guy, I could, you know, do the same thing. The GT has the R302 block, because when I bought those when those first came out, but I could, you know, probably do a dart block if I wanted to go with a 363 in here. But then again, I'd have to go through tuning and all that, and tuning, you know, it's not exactly fun, you know, especially it gets expensive when you know, renting out a dyno to do that. So, but the coyote seemed like the way to go. I have a friend that put a coyote in his Fox, and all he added was actually a Novi 2000 similar to mine's, and first time out he ran an 890. Yeah, first time out. So of course he got booted out, you know, automatic and all that, of course, but that was quite impressive. And I know he was telling, I wish I was involved in his build, but he was saying how much of a headache it is to get things in there and make things line up. But, you know, I'd like to do the research about the different gens there are for the coyotes, because, you know, I really don't know much about them, you know. So that's where this guy sits today. Let me know what you guys think, you know, future build on this guy. Keep it a push rod motor or go with a coyote. Probably a lot of guys will say go coyote, but it's kind of nice when, yeah, it'll look nice, because if I do that, I'll definitely clean up the engine bay like I did on this other guy here. You know, I welded up all the holes and all that, you know, made the engine bay look nice, and I'd spray it all black in here, and, you know, but I enjoy driving this guy around because it's still a stick, you know. And if I go coyote, I know the only way to truly go fast is with an automatic. But this guy's, you know, as I said, it's kind of nice having an auto and a manual. Pick one, which one I want to drive. So give me your guys' options. Let me know what you think, man, for the future build on this guy, you know, because I know that if I go with a 306, you know, I might start thinking 331, and the next thing you know, I'm going to a 347 like this guy over there. But yeah, head spinning and stuff like that. It's twirling around with the options and stuff. So, but, you know, we'll see, man. You know, and sure enough, it's a nitrous setup, and I always thought to myself, I'd love to do a future turbo setup. And I know you could basic bolt-on do it on 3, but if I were to do that, I'd definitely do it on a fresh motor, or at least do a compression check on this. I know a lot of guys say leak down. You know, it's probably something I could do, but at least a compression check to see where this guy stands, because, you know, it wouldn't be fun slapping on a turbo, you know, and next thing you know, having to do a build and all that. So, but that would be a fun thing too, actually. So, see, there you go, my head's spinning. So, but there it is. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.